Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Vine Panther Presents. We're heading back to Montana and apparently Texas. We're doing both, really. As we talk about Yellowstone season 5, episode 10. It really is two shows going on. You got the before John's dead and after John's dead. Okay, and we got to figure out which show do we like the most. And because we're gonna get both for a while, seems like that. Anyway, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You can like on the video, you can comment on the video, you can share the video, you can watch the video till the end because we're gonna do some discussions and that kind of stuff. We're maybe talk about other spinoffs and that kind of thing. So stick with us. I know it's late. This is late for me, but anyway, sit back, enjoy the intro, and then we'll start the show. Okay. Oh, wait. I got to do it now. Wait. This is going to be funny. Wait. You ready? I got to do it.
This is awesome. This is amazing. I love it.
It was psychological. It was emotional.
Extremely entertaining.
But as always, as we try to say here, as we said, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And as we talk about this video, please like on the video and comment on the video, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Hello. All right, so we're going to talk about post-John death. Then we're going to do pre-John death. Okay? All right, so post-John death, basically. Kim, what you think about that part of the episode, your background and stuff? What are your thoughts?
My background is actually after John died. That's when she slapped the crap out of him. Is that what you want me to talk about?
Post John death, and then we'll do pre-John death in Texas.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. What you were talking about before we started the recording is very true. Like, I feel like I've seen these two do exactly the same thing they're doing again, right? It's like, stop already, right? We know why she hates him, right? We established that. I don't even know what season it was, but we know what happened, right? And we know she has this deep hate for him. And for sure, don't get me wrong, she has absolutely every right to hate him, right? I'm not defending him, but I'm also just tired of the back and forth with it. I want Beth to just kill him. Just get it over with, okay? Jamie has always been a thorn in everyone's side, not just hers. Just kill him already. Do we have to go through each and every time he does something, which I know this is major, right? You kill dad, that's major. I'm not saying it's not, but still, she slaps him. She slaps him again. Okay, so you couldn't just shoot him and, go to jail? Like, just, I don't want to see this anymore.
Or make a serious effort, like bring the weapon, and then the assistant who just sits there and watches her boss get his ass whooped for at least the second time, as you pointed out. They did this very scene when his dad brought the assassins and almost killed. She went to the Capitol and whooped his ass then, and I'm like, put a guard. Like, hey, you see this woman. You don't let her in, because this happened a couple of times. She was on the schedule and she scheduled this ass whooping. Like, why are we keep on doing this? Like, I don't understand. And then she's like, oh man, that must have hurt. Anyway, your 5:30 is here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, she didn't even flinch. Like when you could see her a little bit in the background. Yeah, she's like still typing, and I'm like, I would have been standing up like, oh, I'm calling security. None of that. I
felt like that's why I felt Tyler Perry. I felt like we see this kind of like, what? Like, this is not a natural reaction. This is not a natural reaction. But anyway, okay, hold on. So let's get to the slap heard around Montana. Jamani, would you please explain your background? What you got?
Yeah, Jamie got Chris Rock slapped up. So, yeah, I'm like, she just showed up, and it was like, well, I didn't think it would be appropriate, her being your sister, to just, be waiting outside. So I let her go into your office. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some tripwire or something in there. I'm like, what? We are just really dragging this out. As I said last week, they need proof. So now she, quote unquote, has the proof of, he didn't even deny it. And then, you have Casey biting his lip until it bleeds and is like, all right, we're gonna meet up and we're gonna come up with a plan. and it's gonna take the whole season. So I don't like, and it's not even like we have the full episode. It's like we have 20 minutes just to deal with present day, I guess you'd say, and the rest of the time is just flashbacks of I don't even know how long ago it's been. Like
6 weeks.
okay, so
yeah. It took okay. Let's get time period down. So from him standing with Rainwater and hearing he's about to get impeached, it's been 6 weeks.
No,
since that
I
moment.
was talking about. I'm talking about from the slap. I'm talking about from the slap and the stuff that Jamani talking about before that. I guess the stuff we saw in this episode. Talking about the flashback stuff.
So that's again
that's
6
6
weeks.
weeks. I mean,
So how does that relate to again when last time we saw John alive, which was him on the reservation, and then he's like, I got to get back to the Capitol. My son is trying to impeach me, and then like that's the last thing we saw of him, and then now it's like, and then they keep on going back and forth.
Yeah,
So,
and this is what I was talking about off camera as far as like, I think I know why they did what they did. Which is this is probably as much as everyone's used to hearing me criticize shows or whatnot. I think other than us, me and David, you'll know this. Like when it comes to was it the Falcon and Winter Soldier, when I was defending the show with certain things because of what did I say? I said, well, COVID, right? This one I'll say, well, Costner. In this one, Costner. No, again, they had so many. There was so much that it pretty much had all season 5 films, pretty much. And then the Costner thing, I think in a sense they did not want to waste a lot of the film. You know what I mean? They had, and that's why we keep seeing all these jumps, which messes us up. At the same time, they also had a time frame. I guess that apparently, from what I hear, as far as like when Taylor had to hurry up and write the stuff. So that's why some stuff seems recycled, even though I think it would have been easier to, instead of having Beth, like kind of what Kim was saying, not having Beth once again face off against Jamie, because I know that they only had a small time to do this. It would have been stronger if it would have been Casey, obviously not the same scene, but like maybe a small hint where Casey found out. And Casey, because that's the thing, this whole time, it's always Beth. That's the one that's always like on to Jamie, right? And Casey's like, I don't know. It would have been stronger this time around if it was Casey who would have kind of heard, like kind of saw it from the horse's mouth from Jamie in a different way. Obviously a different scene than what we saw. That would have been strong. To me, that would have been stronger than Jamie just kind of Casey going with what Beth was saying. Obviously, I mean, you know what I mean? And I think what we were kind of delivered with, and especially with these the last 4 episodes that we got left, is just going to be stuff that they kind of had to hurry up and put together. You know what I mean? Because to your point, I would say it was confusing as hell when I saw Beth all of a sudden driving to see Rip, because I was like, okay, so she's driving back again. I didn't think much of it at first, and then she's so happy and kissing. I'm like, when are they going to talk about the whole thing with John? And then later I was like, oh, this is a flashback. Oh, snap! Like it just
that's another thing, Chris. There was no indication that there was they were going back and forth, and I was right. If I was not really paying attention,
right,
I would have been completely lost.
You would have been
lost. But I'm like the beginning. It was like, well, last week's episode ended with Rick driving back to Montana and him hugging Beth, and then this episode starts. He's back with Teeter and all of them at camp. I'm like, what? Yeah. Like that was like a dead giveaway for me. I was like, what the hell is going on?
But that shouldn't be the lead, right? Like, so to your point. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. We're trying to do positive. So Beth continuing to be the brains and now the bronze of the family, like that makes sense. And Beth, her confronting Sarah, you know what I'm saying, like Jamie's new lady, like that was awesome, right? Like to see them kind of go at it. Because at some point, Beth has to figure out that Jamie don't have the brains to do this stuff, especially on his own.
Well, yeah, Casey discovered that, and if you're trying to stay positive, I guess you shouldn't bring up Summer in the presence of Chris.
No, that was a positive. That was a positive because that bitch is gone. She went on that plane. She gone.
We didn't see her get on the plane. We saw her at the airport.
Oh, you starting to sound like David.
No, wait.
You starting to sound like David with the whole like, well, we didn't see. So
okay, well, again, that's a different thing. That's a different thing. But I'm saying, but like, it was Beth. Okay, so Beth is like she knows Jamie again. He's a brain, but he's not really that kind of. It's always a woman usually, or someone. It was his dad. It was somebody else doing this stuff for him. So for her to be like, it has to be Sarah. And she like mushed her in the face. Like that was hilarious. And then and she's like, okay, I'm gonna get out of here. But again, she was vulnerable in the hallway. Like she's like, oh my God. Like for her to know, right? It's like, it's a difference when you think, and now she knows Jamie was involved and she truly is hurt, right? Yep. Like she's like, I can't believe at any level he was really involved in Dad being killed. And I was like, I get it. But like to your point, Chris, I say the scene could have happened just the same way if Casey showed up. Casey shows up, confronts his brother, and like he hits the shit out. And it's like stop, and Jamie won't fight back, right? It's a brother whooping the brother's ass, and then that kind of makes a little bit more sense because he's a livestock commissioner.
Jamie would have gone to the hospital. He would have been looking like that Kane and Drew fight on Power.
Well, again, if Casey is in a headspace where he's like, he's still my brother, I don't have to go special forces on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like you can hit your brother and still be like, I'll get your point across, but he ain't trying to kill this dude. Also, he ain't trying to go to jail because the assistant's right there.
I think if the plan is to have Casey finally facing off against Jamie, I think it would have been. I would say it would have been stronger not to have Casey hit Jamie in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, don't do a spoiler alert at that point. You know what I mean? Just straight up, just like have them have a little conversation. Like I would say it would have been more of an interrogation thing. Like, kind of just say, oh yeah. How was something right? Like, or talk about some name, and he didn't. And then all of a sudden, Jamie says this random name, and in case, and then it's not until he turns around and realizes like, I never told Jamie about this. And like, you know what I mean? Have something like that, and then all of a sudden he calls up Beth, and he's like, I think Jamie killed our father. Like that's all it had to be, something as subtle like that. He didn't have to hit. He didn't have to punch. I don't think. Well, for Casey, it wouldn't make sense at that moment in time for him to punch him out for something like that. You know what I mean? Because he's always unsure, and he was the only one that for the past few seasons who's always defended Jamie. It would have been stronger to have him go through that turmoil in his head, realizing that his brother did it. So then in the next 3 episodes, see, this is me rewriting everything now, like him having to face off against Jamie, because we already know what Beth is about. And to me, I'm sorry, I know you guys are saying that like it's easy to know, bro, who wouldn't have thought that Beth knew? You know, I'm sorry. The moment she saw that, I'm sorry, I knew very well that she did not think that Jamie did it. We've had seasons and seasons of her going through this, and every single time it was Jamie's fault, and she knew it. So I don't think it really, as an audience member, it did not really hit as hard that she knew, compared to just thinking, like, duh, of course you're gonna, like, you know what I mean? I know your emotions not gonna be any different than it was an episode ago. You know what I mean? You wanted to kill him last episode. Now I really want to kill him. Like really want to kill him.
So I have a question. So didn't we already have an episode where, like, I guess earlier this season, in season 5, didn't she record him carrying his dead father, his real father?
Yes.
So why isn't this coming into play yet?
Right?
Like, this should have already been before he became.
No, she can't. Remember what happened after that, right? Jamie, because at that point, Jamie even told her, because when she tried to confront him in his house. What did he say?
Oh, it's a train station.
He said,
I go down.
You go down there. There's a lot more bodies down there that's going to be linked to your family and your husband. Your husband.
Oh,
and Beth's face like turned white. Like
that's right.
Because that was the last thing we saw was her going to her
John.
father asking about the train station.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So
but what I'm like, why did we need to have Casey calling up special forces? Who's the guys who do wet work and all this stuff? Like, is he gonna actually go and hunt these people like Jason Bourne style or something? Or
well, he did it before. So like when they went out when they kidnapped his wife, right? You know what I'm saying? And almost killed his wife, kidnapped the son. Like he went all special forces and just like murdered all of them. So, but again, as we talked about last episode, that would make more sense to us if we saw the guys do it, right? So, and again, Kevin's gone, but they cut off the lights, they go into the house like bang bang or some shit. Then we know who he's going after. Because to your point, Jamani, this random ex-special forces guy is gonna be like, there's only 3 people that can do that kind of work in America. It's Bob, David, and Chris. Go look at these and figure it out. I'm like, that's gonna be ridiculous. That's gonna be ridiculous.
Do you think I have a strong feeling that we're going to see a flashback? So we're already doing flashbacks. We're going to get the flashback of what happened that night. I feel like we're going to see that. But I'm assuming you don't think they're going to show that. They're going to.
I'm hoping
they're not going to. Obviously, they're not going to show Kevin Costner. Obviously.
Well, so I'm hoping I hope that they do to give Casey something to do that's relevant right now, right? Like if he's handling the special ops guys who killed Dad, that leaves Jamie to be dealt with by Beth, right? And then that makes a little bit more sense. And now we got more things for people to do. Because again, Rip by trailer, Rip will be killing somebody and taking them to the train station. So that ain't gonna be Jamie. Like there's other people that have to drop so people can go to the train station. So Lloyd and crew can do that. But then Casey has to be useful. His special forces thing has to be useful. So maybe this guy's gonna help him find those people. But I hope that we get to see that. And then what's the evidence that connects these two guys? Unless they're running around the special ops community saying, hey, we killed the governor of Montana yesterday for about $10 million. Oh, really? Okay, Bob, thank you. Like, I'm interested to see how they put this together because I'm like it doesn't make a lot of sense. All I can say is I can't wait to see Jamie get his. It's long overdue. Also, I hope Casey gets a spinoff. I don't know about that.
I disagree with the whole Jamie thing. I'm going to tell you this. See, and this is why I think I got some shit off of this when we were talking about the previous season for Yellowstone because I said this because I think I was the only somewhat sympathizer for Jamie. And I was like, if you piece together everything that has happened to him and everything he tried to do, and let's be real, his actions was after an action that either his father did or Beth did or what other politicians did to him, right? And then guess what? Unlike the other folks, he always came back and apologized like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have acted rash or whatnot. You know what I mean? And he just felt like, look, I'm always getting the raw deal in a sense. And then all of a sudden you find out your father ain't your father and all this other shit. And then you know what I mean? And because you thought, even though you were selfish when you did this, but in your head, you thought, yo, this is going to look horrible in Dad's name. If his underage daughter was pregnant, I have to like take him to this off-brand abortion clinic so it doesn't get up to the news and all this other crap. When you were a kid yourself, you did this. You're like, I feel like it evolved to all of this. I'm not saying that like obviously he was right, but I'm saying I can see if someone tried to punch me really hard, I'm sorry, I'm gonna punch back, but I'm try to punch you 2 times as hard. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of what's been happening. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, he had horrible buzzards kind of like whispering in his ears this whole time. Yeah, because that's the thing. He is a weak man. I ain't gonna lie. He's a weak man, but he became that because of the shit that he was surrounded by and the neglect that he would always have. Because he was super smart and he did not want to always be on the ranch for all this time or whatnot, he was punished for it. You know what I mean? Mentally, verbally, and all this other shit. So you guys are so in a sense, this is the birth of a villain. You know what I mean? And this is a villain that you guys create, not you, but I'm just saying
but
that the Yellowstone created.
John created.
Yeah,
John sent him. He sent him to
John
law
Dutton,
school.
You created this villain.
You sent him to law school to defend the ranch, and then he comes back to defend. To your point, Beth came to him to be like, "I'm pregnant. Handle the situation." He handled the situation. Now he is an asshole for it. So yeah, Chris. So we talked about this with the previous seasons. Like many times he was put in this situation
Right.
and he tried to respond,
Yeah.
and then they get mad for him for how he responded. So then he turns into this, right? Like the only dad he knows is telling him he ain't shit. Like you're not going to be the lead of this family. Like, and he's like, well then forget all that. But then again, with Sarah, like even with his last girl, like there's always someone, like I said, in his head being like, I'm gonna do this. This is where you need to be. The dad did it to him, like Sarah's doing it to him now. So it's like, so at some point he is playing the victim, yes, but at this point he's more culpable in what's happening because she did was like, do you understand what's word coming out of my mouth? And he's like, yeah, like this sounds good until it does happen. And now he's like, now he's getting cold feet, but now it's too late, for that. But so it's gonna be sad when he gets put down. But I think it will be Beth. After all this setup, it better be
Easy.
Beth.
That's too easy. I don't know. I really hope it's not, because Yellowstone's been so smart so far as like throwing us for a loop and whatnot. The whole Beth thing is just like, it is way too easy for Beth.
It's gonna be Casey. It's gonna be Casey.
I want it to be.
No, it needs to be the next.
I absolutely want
it needs to be somebody from the next generation. Whether it's Casey's son or Carter.
Hey,
I'll be okay with that. I will be okay with that too.
I will be out. See, so this is wait a minute, hold up. Two things. I want to get. I do want to get to summer. I want to get to summer because
nope. It is damn near winter. You better stop. Nope, we ain't getting no summer. Summer is over. Summer's been gone.
I was like, I had so many mixed emotions about this because I know I'm the guy who's like, where is this woman and why are we gonna act like she don't exist? But then they spent way too much time on her, and I was like, we need to speed this shit up. And then it just, hey, Sharice,
she got two rides. She got two rides. She got a ride from Beth and a ride from Rip. I'm assuming the ride from Beth was filmed a while back, and then now that they had to get rid of her, they now film Rip taken to the airport. Why not just take one ride just to the airport? Like, I didn't understand that. I just knew Beth was going to take her out of there. I thought that was weird as hell.
She's going to the train station? Well, no.
Yeah.
So
I mean not the train station, but you know what I mean. Like,
but Beth said, "I will give you a ride to the house, and then they can give you one." So even as it was silly, but I think they wanted the Beth time, so Beth can once again be like, I don't want you around my dead daddy. You got to get up out of here. But the whole Summer character didn't make a lot of sense to me because I'm like, she had a job. Like she had a like her pimp / master gave her a job. Like John was like, you are my environmental specialist. She worked for the state. Like she wasn't just the fuck toy. Like and then she was like, oh my God, I could have left. Yeah, bitch, you could have left, but you ain't got nowhere to go. So why are we acting like you got options? Like, even when she got out of prison, she was like, I got nowhere to go. Daddy, will you take care of me? And John was like, come on, baby. I got bed, I got job, I got penis. I'm like, whatever you want. So I was confused. Like, first she was like, but I was like, what are we doing right now? She went from I'm not a slave anymore to, oh my God, daddy's gone, to he was one of the greatest men that ever took care of me and taught me stuff, but all I did was give up the butt. And I'm like, are you sad? Are you not sad? I'm confused. I'm get out of the screen, please. Like, just go. Like, I don't, it was too much. It was too much. Yeah. And then she had a job. So too much talking. And I didn't, and then even best last line of, don't throw anything on a woman with a fur coat. She's just gonna go buy another fur coat, bitch. Like, learn your lesson. And Rip was like, please get out my truck. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing with you, but my wife didn't want to deal with you. I don't even know. So bye Summer. Don't want to see her again. Why did she get my point? Why did she go back to her job in the States? She had a legit job. Why didn't she stay and help run the government?
Could she even run it after being in jail and stuff like that? I mean,
it was just not the whole thing, but she had a legitimate job. Also, remember, Beth had a legitimate job. She's like the chief of staff or something, right? Remember, Kim? Like, she has
a legitimate job in Montana and not have a mode of transportation.
It don't make sense. Like, you should have got paid. Like, you were some kind of sex slave that had another job. I'm like, you should get a paycheck.
That's who's going to kill Jamie. Summer. Jamie is going to win the nomination because since now his father's dead, he's going to win. He's going to give his victory speech, and he's going to be up there. He's like, hey, and then
Oh,
who shot? And then all of a sudden, Summer is like, say, yeah, justice, and then she's going to throw fake red paint on him too.
yo, hey, she does it. She does it for rainwater. She does it for rainwater. She does it to save. She does it to save the reservation. Okay, real quick. Back to Jamie and the slapping, because I told Shreese this. It felt like an S&M moment, a little bit, because
it's like, hit me again. They're like, look at me.
Right, like I'm being bad. Come on, hit me. She's like, look at me, Jamie. He's like, no, I can't, master. Hit me, no, but he's like, no, I can't. I've been a bad boy. And then it's like she was getting off on hitting him, and he was getting off on being hit because he knows he deserves it. And then he got to eat Sarah's draws. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening with this? Like,
he's not good at. See, the thing is, I didn't understand after like the first or second hit. Just that her intent is going to kill you, right? After all this, I'm sorry, yo. You see it all the time with like mass murders who be on the stand. They be swearing on the Bible. They look them right now, but like, did you do it? Like, nope, and they did. Like you, bruh, you telling me you couldn't just look at your sister and I'll be like, I ain't do it. Like you stuttered. Look her in the eye at least. Like it was just like I just didn't know. He might as well just said, "I'm sorry, I did it. I'm sorry." Like,
could you imagine him being your lawyer and you being in court because he is the attorney general? So I'm like, I would not want to be his client.
Well, that's the type of lawyer, but he felt it's obvious he feels guilty about his role in this whole thing. It took too long. The slap took way too long.
Was he guilty though? Because he felt that guilty because right after that, all of a sudden, Sarah and the homie who tried to take over Yellowstone, he went right into he turned robotic right after that. And he was like, well, the first thing is to get to the state, and then to get to the. And then try to see what's going on with the will. Most likely, he updated the will, so now we have to get our hands in. And I got to tell you, Beth is very resourceful. He went straight up politician, right? I don't know if maybe it's just a switch. Maybe it was like he felt. But the thing is, though, right then and there, like I thought he was kind of too comfortable talking about like just going. You know what I mean? So I don't. He feels guilty, but not. But that's why it made it even stronger that he could have just at least looked her in the eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That same robotic tone that
because Jamie is a psycho, and I don't think anybody's actually paying attention. There is something wrong with this man because a normal person, yes, he cried. I saw him cry. Yes, he did. But it doesn't mean he's not a psycho because he literally is ashamed of what happened to his dad, but he can turn it off like a light switch.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now getting back to politics, let me see how I can kick this family that took care of me in the teeth and get my revenge for my dad not picking me as number one. Right? That's how he goes back and forth because he's a psycho. There's something wrong with him. And then Casey, if you look at the trailer, Casey is the one that's going to get Jamie. Now, trailers can be conceit, they can make you believe one thing, but something else is going to happen. But the way that they have the trailer, Casey's going to confirm that Jamie did do this, but he did it through Sarah. He's going to find out all that information, and he's going to go and he's going to whoop his brother's behind. And I believe he's going to kill him. And understandably, it would be great. And I know this sounds really bad, but if his son Trace, I think his name is, if Trace saw them fighting, right? And then Trace was like, nah, Jamie, got to take you out because you killing my dad. That would be bad, but it would be entertaining.
So Tate's the son's name.
Tate, sorry.
We've already, so this kind of goes to the other part of like father-son speeches about death and what's life like after John is gone. Rip and Carter had a much more succinct, realistic, and impactful conversation. Like, he didn't quit you. It happens. We got to move on. And the way you honor him is to get up and keep fighting for this ranch and do your part. And I was like, that was a good discussion. And I thought that worked very well. Casey and Tate, I'm not sure what we doing here with this. Like,
I like that one too, though. I liked it for Casey. That was fine. I thought you got to remember who Casey is. Casey went all over the place in the first season when we first saw him. You know what I mean? He was like living on a reservation, and his dad was like, "Yo, you can come to the ranch. I don't know why you're all the way out here. Bring your wife. You know what I mean? I want to see my grandson and all that." And he kept what he said even from that first scene. He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He is very lost, especially when he came from the war. You know what I mean? He's still holding that PTSD that he had, like stuff going on from overseas. So in a weird way, he is a lost man who just happened to have a kid, which is not always the best. You know what I mean? And he's lost himself. He's lost as himself. You know what I mean? And I thought the conversation, to your point, that's not a normal conversation that a father and son would have. That being said, for the circumstance that they've dealt with and who Casey is and what he's been going through and whatnot, that made perfect sense of the conversation he had with Tate. You know what I mean? Tate has also gone through something horrific. He also is dealing with a lot of PTSD. You know what I mean? We still don't know exactly all that happened to him was kidnapped. We can surmise the certain things that happened to him when they took him. You know what I mean? So that conversation where it was like awkward silence, and then they were saying, it's like, well, what do you want to do? They're like, shoot, I don't know what I even want to do. You know what I mean? It's like, do you want to work for the rain? It was like basically you saw two men who were kind of uncomfortable having a conversation about this in the first place, who don't necessarily talk about their feelings, trying to somehow open a dialogue. You know what I mean about that. So I was fine with that. To your point, yes, the whole Rip and Carter thing was more realistic, but that was also because not Carter. Yeah, Carter. Yeah, because Carter was crying as well and talk about he missed stuff. So yeah, I mean, obviously, if that is how it started with Tate, if Tate was crying and say I miss my grandpa or whatever, we would have probably had maybe a scene like that, whatever. But I was fine with it. You know what I mean?
So my issue. So my thing also, Tate, if I remember correctly, Tate watched Casey kill those two like meth dealers, like in the when they kidnapped that woman. Like he's been around death like quite often. Like he had to kill that dude from hurting his mom.
Right.
Like his
That's
mom,
right.
like he's gone
saw his mom get flinged from a car and essentially lost his own brother.
And lost his brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like the pain and trauma that Tate has experienced, this would have been the next nail in his coffin to be like, I'm going Dexter. Like someone has to pay for this. To be like, if to your point of like he's the one that takes out Jamie, I can see him being like, hey dad, you and I can be special forces together, and somebody's going to the train station. Like if he gets a little bit more bass in his voice, I can see him doing that. But so I was saying, like, so again, so Carter's thing of this is another person who quit me, right? Mm-hmm. Like we understand what happened to his family. Like Tate should have been at that same that kind of mindset. Like who else am I going to lose? I can't lose anyone else. Like and that sort of thing. That's what I'm saying. He was more like.
I think that's the thing though. Tate. Here's the deal. If you take two kids, right? Because that's the thing. Let's be real. Carter just had people leave him, right? He didn't have people get murdered in front of him. You know what I mean? Tate had all this, and Tate was also abused as well. After a while, and then all of a sudden you see like death, unfortunately, and you hear this a lot, especially people who like lose a lot of people to death, you become numb. It's like a callus that just starts to form. You know what I mean? And his heart. So he's gotten hardened to that. You know what I mean? So maybe I'm not surprised that he's not crying. I don't see Tate crying anymore. You know what I mean?
I'm saying, so to your this is a good point. So when Monica is trying to tell Tate that like she sees the signs of Casey about to go psycho, I guess, and it's like it would have been good for her also to see it in Tate. Like to your point, like Tate is not crying, like he's gone through too much. Like, hey Casey, we need to watch Tate to make sure he don't lose his shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what he could do after the abuse he suffered and what he had to do and that kind of thing. As much as they're trying to work on Casey, I think anyway, it was both fathers were trying to have their own conversation the best they could. Beth and Rip. So Stacey's here in comments. The Beth and Rip moment are always great, and this was great. But again, it's just timing of what we should be talking about right now. If John was alive and everything was hunky dory, and them going to that that back door speakeasy or whatever the fuck, and like, you know, having a good time and dancing is beautiful because that's who they are and they love each other. And her being like, I'm gonna go get this dick. And by the way, what happened to the prostitute? All right. She promised that she was gonna bring a prostitute next time she came down. I didn't see that. Like I thought
No,
Teeter, I thought she was gonna
that's to
bring
the
Teeter's
hotel once they
boyfriend.
get the room. That's once they go back to the hotel. Because remember, he said, "Hey, after we're done with our nights in the hotel room, y'all can have the hotel rooms. I'm gonna bring up your
Next
boyfriend
time, next time.
next time." So maybe next episode we see that. I guess I don't
Damn
know.
it.
But randomly, let me randomly just bring up. So Altrina only sometimes watches, like sometimes when I watch Yellowstone, she might watch a little bit of it. She said this is her favorite episode of all the seasons. You want to know why? Because Amarillo got a shout out. She is from Amarillo, so she's like, oh, she brought up Amarillo. Oh my god. Oh my. And then because she said like something like the bar. She looked it up and it was like that bar actually existed. Now, I guess so. They actually filmed it in Amarillo. She got super happy.
Oh,
They, but I was like, babe, you know they're gonna be gone. It ain't Amarillo probably ain't going to get another shout out. She's like, whatever. I'll take my wins. She's like, I'll take more. And then she kind of kept reminding me. I was like, well, you had Cross in every freaking episode. It was like DC, DC, DC.
oh my
DC.
god.
You know what I mean? So so I just wanted to randomly bring up that she liked the whole Amarillo thing. So
I love it. It was again. Taylor does a great. Again, if we weren't dealing with a much bigger issue of John is dead, and even after post John dead, the only one asking logical question is Lloyd. Do we have a job? Because the boss is dead. And Rip is like, I don't know. I'm just fucking Beth. I don't know. I mean, maybe like she's in charge, but like you should know. If anyone knows, you know. What is Beth going to do with us? And he's like, I don't know, man. Let's just keep on working this ranch and see what happens to us. I'm like, this don't make any sense. And Ryan and Teeter and crew are just like, hey, let's go ride the cattle. Do you know your boss is dead? Like none of them were
we
like,
have not seen Teeter
no, they
in
don't know.
present day.
nah, that's not true. That is
Huh?
not true.
What do you mean?
At that point, it is present day. When they come back to them and Rip is gone because he's back in Montana, that is present day, and Ryan is in charge. That's not true. That is present day. That's why Rip is not there. So I ask again, why are they not asking questions? Like, do they not know that John is dead? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, they don't know. No, because remember when Rip like ran out, right? You know, and he said, "Hey, you're in charge," or whatnot. See, and that's the problem about them doing flashbacks because twice he left and then put homie. Was it Ryan? Is it Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan. It's Ryan. I had to look it up. It's Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, who was like who's actually a cop too, I guess. Put him in charge, right? The first time was when he went on a horse because he found out what happened to John, but that was through a phone call. You know what I mean? He ain't say, if you notice, he ain't say nothing to the.
He didn't tell anybody.
So to your point, David, they don't know. They're just over here being like, I don't know where Rip is, you know.
Yes,
And we don't, and because we living on the
second
campground full of
time-
rattlesnakes, we don't know. We ain't got no cell phones, and all we got is just rattlesnakes.
It doesn't make any.
And then the second time when he left, that was when he left him in charge because him and Beth was going to the hotel or whatever.
That was in the past.
Well, again,
Yeah.
that was in the past, and I acknowledge that. I'm saying in the present scene, they were trying to show progression, right? Like now Ryan can be in charge, and everyone's respecting him, and that's a great moment for him. I didn't realize that was part of his arc, but I'm like, Lloyd, again, you don't call back to be like, hey, we got to figure out we still got jobs. Like you might want to know this. Teeter's boyfriend doesn't call and be like, hey, baby, boss is dead. We're not dealing with what we need to be talking about right now. Didn't know season 5. Hope not. No season 6 of this shit. No, this is the last season. That's what you're saying. Watch IP Iron Panther. Should I take that? Is that
LP?
Is
it LP or IP?
I don't know.
He said,
I feel like it's IP. I want Rex. Please clarify what we're supposed to be watching. And
Rex,
then,
are you using like the little voice communicator things where it's like voice to speech? Is that?
I don't like. We appreciate the interaction. I'm just saying. I just want to be clear what we're trying to say here. We spent half this episode was the past, and that's a waste of time, right? Like we need to focus on now. Okay, like what is life after John's death? Who's looking into this shit, right? Like him, like we're doing too much. Like we need to do the now. Let's do the now.
Yeah, because they only have what? Let's see, what
4 episodes. Yeah.
Did it have one more episode or two?
No, he said four.
No, it was four. It was four. Yeah, four more.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, damn.
Yeah.
It's going to take too long to get to where it needs to go.
They don't. But I again, from what I've heard, a lot of it had to deal with them having to rush a lot of stuff. So, and literally, I think Taylor's biggest option was to use a lot of the stuff that he already films to meet the deadline. I think this is why we're seeing a lot of these flashbacks. I hear you.
But why was he put to the fire like that? For what reason? I mean,
because it was already almost about to be like 2 years. You know what I mean? So it was like they had to.
But that wasn't his fault. That was COVID.
No, I know it's not his fault. But if your company is saying, "Hey, we need this," you know what I mean? I mean, think of Peter Jackson. Think of Peter Jackson in the Hobbit films, right? Like, was it Warner Brothers? Who owns the
Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers, yeah. And then you watch the movie, you could tell very much that Peter Jackson was rushed as a motherfucker compared to like watching like Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? And then it came out, and people were like, "Yo." Then they blamed the company, was like, "Yo, why'd you rush this man?" You know, now it looked like a jumbled mess. You know what I mean? So this is the only reason why I say I'm not faulting Taylor as much. You know what I mean? Now Kevin Costner was still going to be in the show, and it was just. I'll be blasting shit out of this right now. You know what I mean? But the only thing that's keeping me at bay is knowing some of the circumstances going on with behind the scenes. And
I feel like what they should have did was focus on the now. Instead of 5-6 episodes, they give us a movie, a solid movie. Okay. That's like we get from point A to point B and we're done. Like Ray Donovan, they did a great option. They said, "Hey guys, we ain't getting the whole of the season. We don't need another season. We need a good solid movie that wraps up these characters. People die who need to die. People go to jail who need to go to jail, and we're done." And I'm like, they could have did that. And then we're not. And again, we love the crew. Like the Cowboys are great. Teeter and them are great, and we love the interaction. But like again, they should just be dealing with more serious stuff. And then we feel like we're watching the last 5 episodes of Power. If you're familiar, like every episode, instead of moving forward, we kept on just going backwards. Right. So it's like we're in a loop. We're in a very irritating loop. You know, and then we don't even know, like I said, we don't even know what we're watching. We have to look at the context clues and goes, "Oh, these people are too happy." This must be this. Did your wife? Because I've lived in several parts of Texas. Mm-hmm. Never lived in a part of Texas that's much into cowboys and beef. That a cop pulls you over and it's like, "Tell your husband we thank you for your service because we know what it takes to put a steak on the table." I'm like, that bullshit has never happened in any part of Texas I've been in.
Yeah, to your point, it's funny. She did kind of bring up. She's like, "All right, well, because there is, are you familiar with Big Texas, the Big Texan or whatever, which is a huge state, the home of the biggest steak that you can ever get. Outside of that one small town, they don't be talking about like steak like that. You know what I mean? Like steak is big in Texas or whatnot, but it ain't. Amarillo ain't like looking. They ain't looking at it like the waitress like because your husband, I was able to feed my kids.
I was like, what? I was like, what? Like, I look. Don't make my state look like everybody rides cowboy like horses everywhere they go, and all we do is go on the range and shoot cows every day. Like that's not Texas.
Right,
that's
right.
I don't know what part of Texas that is. Yeah. Like Beyonce's from Texas. Like we ain't seeing that Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, so let's talk about that part of Texas. But anyway,
you trying to see black people? You trying to see that?
No, I'm just saying I need to see more than just like I love the cowboy scenes, but there's more to Texas than that. You know what I'm saying? That scene was just completely weird. I do know what it's like though to be on the highway and it's just you and the buzzards, right? And it's like that car stops, you fucked. And I get that. But I was like,
I know why they did it, and it's the same reason why they did the whole John Deere scene and why the previous episode we had the thing with the Spurs. It was a love letter to cowboys everywhere. They're basically saying like, look, this ain't gonna last forever. Enjoy them while they're here. Basically, it was just basically just kind of like tipping their hats to the Cowboys. You know what I mean? For everything they have done. I think that was the intention. You're right. That was overdone. You know what I mean?
Well, I like the cinematography that they did at the 666 Ranch.
Yeah,
which was a real ranch. I thought that was beautiful. Like when they showed them in a line on the horses, and they were riding out. I thought that was beautifully shot.
Yeah.
And it was like, these are our cowboys, and they deserve respect because they do work their ass off. Like I could never do what they do. I mean, they get up at the crack of dawn, and they literally are helping to supply our food all over the world, not just Texas. It's everywhere. Like we don't know, who their distributors are. They could be sending their food everywhere, right? So I thought that he did a really good job with the Cowboys, and just showed a little piece of what they do, what they have to go through. And it wasn't like he took a long time to do it. He took a snippet of time and did it, right? And I thought it was really nicely done.
I love the 4-6s. I guess someone from being from Texas, I know how often like Texas is portrayed, and like this is another again. I'm just joking around about that. No, but again.
But you're right. It's more than Texas. I think for Yellowstone, this was fine. I think, but you're right. Like Texas is huge in a sense, and there's all kinds. There's parts of Texas that look straight up like Baltimore. You know what I mean? But
yes.
You ain't gonna see that. You ain't gonna see that
either.
Yeah. A lot of people ain't gonna see it. But like the thing is, I think for Yellowstone, this was fine. You know?
No, it was cool. It was cool.
And especially if you think about like what the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I accept it. No. I accept Taylor Swift. No, again, that's I would not expect anything less from him in this type of show. Like, that's not. I mean, there's other issues. It was interesting though, and I think for us, and it's rare I bring up race in this situation, but it'd be like he's like, this is just the way it was 100 years ago. I was like, you're not gonna see any black people in there. So like that's 100 years ago.
That too? When Beth was looking around, when Beth, I was like.
I was like, let me tell you what we're not going to be anywhere 100 years ago. I was like, no, sir. I was like, I'm gonna be over here in the post civil rights section. Like, I'm not going past 1986. Like, I think I'm good in that range. But I just thought that was hilarious to me. But again, that scene only matters if Beth is like post all of this. Once the farm is gone, once the ranch is gone, because she said several. Remember when she said, "Daddy, as soon as you're dead, I'm selling this place. Like I will fight hand and fist for you. But once you're gone, all of this is getting sold. I'm taking my money and I'm moving somewhere else." I'm like, she is not tied to that ranch.
Unless Jamie does it, and I think she hates Jamie more than she loves her father. So.
Oh, damn! You know what's so funny? I think you might be right. Oh my God!
Like I feel because remember, every season has been this is a failed business model. This is not lasting past you, Dad. We are done. And now it's like, oh my God, how can we save this ranch? You said over and over again, you can't save this ranch because somehow in 100 years they haven't figured out how to turn these cows into hamburgers and steaks and like Yellowstone restaurant and Yellowstone like malt liquor or something. Like you could franchise Yellowstone in Montana the same way the 4-6s has done it in Texas. Like that's what she should have been like. Wait a minute, there's more to this cattle thing than cattle, right? Like we could have all, and it's like that's how you turn the business into something, make it profitable.
What? So in the first episode, you have Casey complaining about like the ice cream shop or the froyo being in town. Why is that milk not coming from them cows? Why is not the burger places in town getting their meat directly from Yellowstone? It should be a pipeline for everything cattle.
You're exactly, Jamani. I couldn't believe when it was last season, or maybe the first half of this season, that John was like, oh my God, how do you turn these cows into beef? What? This beef is worth money? I'm like, what the fuck have y'all been doing for 100 years? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like, I was like, so
Oregon Trail, man. His mind's
it's like we are beyond like the 1800s where again they had to find a special person that knew how to chop up a cow. Like you could figure this out, bro, and you can make your own beef in your own state. It just blew my mind that Beth was like, she got on the website, Dad, you know how much beef costs? What? Word? I was like, we're in the wrong part of this business. I was like, anyway. So I mean, is she queen?
They don't even have uniforms, bro. They don't have uniforms. They don't even have uniforms like the 4-6s. You know what I mean? And their little branding is just some random looking Y. You know, the 4-6 that joints look dope. You know,
That shit
I mean,
look
I don't
dope,
know.
right?
Yeah, the only thing is you just hope that like that last 6 gets on real good so people don't confuse it with something else. But like,
3 sixes.
yeah, you know what I mean? You
You
know,
need
but
4 6. But also,
yeah,
but again,
yeah.
to your point, like they don't even look at the 4 6s as the standard. Like, how do we get to their level, right? It's like because we're a small rank. I was like, how do these people even get paid after 5 seasons? I'm asking basic questions like, do y'all have W-2s? Like, do
But
you file taxes? Like, what do
you
you work
know
for?
them rancher hands, they are not W-2s because we got to drop them off at the train station if they see the wrong thing. So
Right? I'm like this.
but
Like,
I'm like the 4 6s, they're corporate, and Yellowstone with them and their branding, they're just like a cult almost.
To your point, that's a good. You know, Jermaine, even think about this. Like, they don't even have health insurance because if you remember when Jimmy got all messed up, it was John Dutton that had to pay for it. And I'm thinking, like,
yeah.
this dude ain't got Obamacare. Like, what's up? Like, this dude ain't got nothing. It's like
They got shit, dude.
He
They
got
work
shit.
for room and board, and room and board is a TP. Like they spend a lot of time on this TP bullshit. Like this is what I'm working for.
Wait a minute, and I had a problem with that. So why? What is his name? Oh my gosh,
Who?
Ryan?
The one that's married to the daughter.
Married to Rip.
Okay, Rip. Why every time someone would offer like room and board for his people, he was like, no, and they said it's free. We do this all the time. No, they can sleep in teepees. And that young lady had to deal with rattlesnakes. Could you imagine? I could not imagine waking up and rattlesnakes be laying on my goddamn chest. No.
Kim, what happened? And what happened after that? Rip once again rips into Teeter. I'm like, so you left the flap open. I'm like,
yeah,
bruh. I'm like, yo, let Teeter breathe, man. What the hell? Like, this is the second episode where he's just like ripping into. Yo, she almost died twice.
Yeah.
There was freaking 2 snakes.
Yeah.
There was 2 snakes in the thing, and you're gonna gill her just like if your kid, just like think of like your kid, right? Your kid does something stupid, right? And then that your kid could have like lost a limb, right? But they're scared shitless. You just look at them. You don't say anything because at that point, they know. They know at that point.
Yeah.
She's a grown woman. You could just be like, he could have just looked at her and she would have learned right then and there.
Right.
And then not only do you rip into her like that, do you like go back in there and check to see if there's more? And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, what? I was like, yo, I kind of felt if it wasn't for the other strong women that was in this show, I would have been like, yo, Taylor, what are y'all trying to say about women? You know what I mean? But if it wasn't for Beth, I would really be questioning Taylor's motives. With what he's doing.
Well, and Sarah is puppeting the hell out of Jamie.
And Sarah, yeah.
Well, no. So again, every woman is strong in their own right. Even Teeter and her boyfriend, like it was her who was like she chose him. It was like, hey, like you're my man now. But Rip rips into everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like really, it just depends on the. With last 2 episodes, it's been her in particular. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get that, but I mean his pride of like, again, we can't live in the house like everybody else. Like we gotta be out here in the teepees is some bullshit. Like that's what I would have been like, I'm gonna find a new job. I'm riding this horse with the 4 6s and I'm putting in my application because they get houses and a uniform and they probably got health care. Jimmy got crapped on for like 3 or 4 seasons before he became who he is now. You know what I'm saying? So like you see what Rip and them are willing to do to a new cowboy who ain't got their shit together, but Jimmy's doing all right now. I mean, he got a girl, he got a place to live, he got a uniform. You know what I'm saying? They need to be like Jimmy. I'd be like, Jimmy, help me out. Give me a job. Because I'm tired of this Yellowstone shit. I get branded and
I
stuff.
thought that there was going to be a 666, ranch.
Whoa. You better add another 6.
Four of them, right.
Oh my goodness.
That I heard that Taylor Sheridan was going to make a show about that ranch.
Yeah, it's a spinoff after that. I think
that's why Jimmy is there. Like Jimmy's gonna be the lead of that show.
Oh no, he ain't gonna be no lead. No. Like he'll be on.
I think some of the cast members are gonna be in the show. Yeah, I mean, I think didn't they already start filming it? I think they already started filming.
No. It was supposed to be Matthew McConaughey was in talks to be like the lead of the show.
Yeah.
And then that kind of fell through. And then they wanted Beth and Rip to be the lead for a spinoff or maybe season 6, and then that fell through. So I think I don't think there's anything on the table right now. They're not filming. They're definitely not filming. So they're probably still in the negotiation stage. I think they want a woman to lead the next spinoff. But so 4-6 ain't getting their own show. Not right now.
You don't think so?
You know, talking about Rip being bad towards Teeter. I'm surprised Taylor Sheridan doesn't have Rip running around in a tutu or something since they're at
after the
odds and whatnot. Yeah.
Him in real life, he might get killed off. I mean, if that would be kind of petty. If Taylor's like Jamie gets the best, but Jamie gets the best of Rip and kills Rip. Like, somehow Jamie kills Rip, right? And then that's Beth going in. To your point, Kim and crew, like it would make sure if Casey does it, like someone who doesn't see Jamie as a threat, but he has to come in and that kind of thing. But the previews of him confronting him in the truck and that kind of thing, like it's too obvious then if they're trying to go for a surprise. So I'm trying to figure out somebody that could do it. That would be
okay. So I just read it. Beth is gonna be the lead of the spinoff of the 4-6s. It's gonna be her show. It's Beth's show. I just read it.
So what happened? So what about Rip? Is she gonna own the 4-6s?
Well, it's showing Rip hinting in the leading spinoff regardless of where the lovers Rip and Beth end up. Yeah, they're not really saying anything about Rip. They're just talking about Beth.
Hey, to your point, Chris.
Rip is gonna get car bombed. They're gonna put a bomb in the car to get Beth, but Rip ends up getting in the car. He blows up. Beth is even more mad, but yet she's distraught. Casey says,
no.
But they did set it up. If you listen to what she said at the bar, they're setting it up. She's looking around and she sees, and I guess this exclusive club they're in, right? This bar. And she looks around and she says to Rip that, what do you see? And he said, I just see, a bunch of Texas people. And she was like, no, you see, there's no tourists here.
Tourists. They're here for business.
And exactly. And then she talks to a tourist, right? Like at the bar. But the guy is also into cattle, right? He sells cattle or whatever. So I think that what they're trying to do is she's going to go ahead and let the ranch go because she knew before her dad died that they couldn't really do anything to save the ranch. So she's going to let that go and she's going to Texas. That's what I think. That's how she ends up with the 4-6s, or at least on that. That's the show. Yeah.
So then, like I said, then with the Taylor, Rip situation going on, Rip will be killed off honorably. And it'll just be Beth's show. So then she can, she's free to, date and find love again and that kind of thing. So it kind of frees her up, for that sort of thing.
I hope. Okay, no offense to here's the deal. Yellowstone, I love Beth's character. I don't need to see that same character in every different spinoff. I after a while it gets old. Like I don't get me twisted. She is kind of one of the things that kind of makes Yellowstone, absolutely. But now you're robbing the 4-6, like if they do another spinoff of something other, like of it being something different. You know what I mean? Just having once again that it might as well just be Yellowstone again. You know what I mean? And it's I hope not. I don't want her to die. Maybe she can show up here and there if she's still breathing. You know what I mean? But I don't want that. I want a different energy. I want something different. You know what I mean? Someone can still be like aggressive, super aggressive or whatnot. But I think at that point, I think for me, it'll just get old. Even though I love what she's doing in Yellowstone, I don't. Having it elsewhere, it's like, no, stay, keep it in Yellowstone. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's like Tommy, right? Like when the sidekick becomes the main character, and you're like, this is too much. Like it's too much of that. Like when she's balanced out by John and Rip, like they keep her in check, right? Like it's not. But if she's at 100 every episode, is too much, right? If she's always out talking everybody, out slapping everyone, like out womaning everyone, then it's like all for 50 minutes. You're like, there's no range. There's no and it becomes that. So and
and it's already her show already. Let's be real. Like, I mean, outside of Kevin, like, I mean, yes, you had John Dutton, but half the time it was her anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
don't. I mean, just for you to do it once again with her, nah, man. Like, give someone else a shine. You know what I mean? She's a great character. Have her come in for a couple of episodes to
Yeah.
to stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I don't mind seeing that, having her come back. She's that great of a character. She's that great of an actress. I forgot to get the actor's name, but do that. But I want something else. I want to, you know what I mean? I want something else and not just another Death show, which is kind of what we are.
If she inherits again, who runs the 4-6s? Let's just start there. Like who actually owns this place, which I don't think we know because I can't think of who owns the 4-6s. So I
thought it was Taylor Sheridan's character who he portrays. He owns.
I think he works there. I don't think he owns it because he was like, I think when we met him, he was selling horses. Like I don't know, but let's say she is the manager, right? But now she has a crew. She has Jimmy. She has other. They're going to introduce other characters, other people who may be more like the day to day, and she's just like the like the person that. You okay? What's up, Kim?
Oh no, I was reading. I'm sorry, guys. I was reading, right? I know I shouldn't be reading while you guys are talking, but this is very interesting. Taylor Sheridan and a couple of investors actually bought the ranch in 2022.
Yeah, did we talk about that during the recap last year?
I didn't know he bought. I didn't know that.
He owns the 4-6s. Like he like right. That's what we're talking about. Like he owns,
because it was like the
owns it. Him and a couple of investors. That's what they said. He bought it in 2022.
Yeah, to the great granddaughter or great granddaughter of the original of the owner, right? Because she right before she passed or something. Yeah, she gave it. Yeah. I mean, I think that's why they were able to use it like crazy, and then definitely did a product placement with that damn liquor. I guess we're gonna see more of that.
He's the new 50 Cent. I'm sorry, he's not Tyler Perry's level. Like he's the new 50 Cent. That's what he is. That's what
4-6s.
That's what he is. That's what he is. I like that. There you go. And then so therefore you need the Yellowstone universe. You need Ryan getting his own place. You need Tate and Carter doing their own thing. Like they go to college. I know we said this, but like it would just I would love the college years. I want Tate, and they're old enough.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You because then they go to school and then they start reading something and then they have to read it in class. And then you got Bruce Chandra over there trying to tell.
They got the old Bruce Chandra.
They got Bruce Chandra is a she's basically her family migrated from New York to Montana.
Montana.
No. It's gonna be Monica. Remember when she was teaching in college? But yes, Monica is gonna be their teacher or their professor in college.
Yeah. Hey, they all moved to. Wait a minute. They all moved to Texas. So while Beth is running the 4-6s, Tate and Carter are in school, and they're in Texas University. Like they go to college in Texas, so everything can be centralized there. It opens them up to a whole new set of actors and characters. I don't know. We're just making up some shit. All right, come on. Let's get ready for tomorrow. Jamani, any final words for Yellowstone or life in general?
Don't like you. We've had Rip throw snakes on people. We had Tate being attacked by we just need to. That's enough. Like we got 4 episodes left. We've done it to death. Yeah, because if you drop me anywhere on like like what they said, a prairie dog, old prairie or whatever, which would be a den for them. Yeah, that. Forget about all of those torture tactics that the 0 Dark 30. That is something I would take snitching to a whole new level. Like Mecca wouldn't have anything on me. Like
he said, Indiana Jones ain't got shit on me. Like both of them, snakes. I can't stand snakes. I was like, go watch The Last Crusade. It got real. What's the next thing? Anything else, Javon?
Yeah, I know that they're not going to stop doing this like part 2 thing, but they could actually add markers that would make it a hell of a lot easier for us to distinguish when they actually change time periods. Yeah. They could do like some coloring or something to make it distinguishable. But
or give it a reason. Give it a reason that present day characters are for some reason talking about what happened before John died, and now it's relevant as opposed to we're watching two shows at the same time. Basically,
And it's just funny that everything before John died, nobody says anything about John like he's already dead.
yes, no one said, "Hey, boss said this." Boss called, "Hey, before I drive down to Texas and see my man for some penis, I'm gonna stop by and say bye, Dad. How's that impeachment going?" None of this is happening. So, like, I don't
Probably
understand.
because there were actual scenes with Kevin Costner. Maybe that's
Was it?
why. Maybe because there was actual scenes with Kevin Costner, so they couldn't use
But
those.
that doesn't make sense because the dialogue, they still would have mentioned him. That in realistic conversations, like Beth is always like, "Daddy, daddy, daddy." She would have said something. Daddy says
Yeah.
hi, something. Like, you don't have to see him there, but then when there's no mention, like you said, we think he's already dead. And
I'm
life
like
just
at
moved
the
on.
beginning, from the first half an hour of the show, it is power when Ghost is the name who may not be mentioned or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
that guy, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. I like that. All right, Javon. Ian?
like, comment, subscribe. See you guys tomorrow for From, because
Yeah, not Gladiator. We're gonna say goodbye to From. Boop. All right, Chris. Any final words, sir?
Yeah, I highly suspect we're going to see more flashbacks. Because once again, it was just what they had filmed, and and this is so I think like everyone else, I'm just gonna have to be more cognitive and just kind of just like when I'm watching it, just kind of pay attention to like who is happy. And there's a lot of happiness, and I know we're in the past. You know what I mean? So I just just kind of have to do it like that. It would be kind of great to kind of just get the whole. Well, I guess we don't want to just get the whole. If this is obviously, I think the Jamie thing was going to be the last episode. Um, but I don't know. I'm just hoping that Taylor wasn't rushed enough to possibly ruin the ending of it. You know what I mean? Because this show, even without Kevin Costner, could still end very well. I mean, unlike Game of Thrones, even though Game of Thrones is a great show, it ended on a sour note. But maybe it can end like The Wire, where even though The Wire didn't have the best, like, good outcome for a lot of people, it still was a pivotal last season. You know what I mean? They could still kind of have that. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of on my wish list, for the show. So, but yeah, I will hopefully be with y'all tomorrow. Me and my wife were doing sleep training with our little one, and he's not taking it very well.
Oh,
So, yeah, that's probably our fault because we started late trying to like not having him sleep with us before we throw him in the bed, and now he goes ballistic trying to sleep without us. So yeah, so we will see. I will most you know what, for From. Yeah, I did. Damn, I promised that guy I was going to be here for From. So yeah, I'll damn it, I'll be here, guys. I'll be here. All
hey, your
right.
man is more important than this show. Hey, Chris.
Till then,
Ryan's gonna
man.
be here for a while. Let's not.
Yeah. Till then, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh yeah, and we're doing Gladiator as well. Shit.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
doing Gladiator
I
tomorrow.
guess I will
We're
be
doing.
here. Yeah,
Damn it.
we're doing.
We
Huh?
gotta talk about that monkey. So we're
Yeah,
gonna talk.
that's
We're
right.
gonna talk
Yeah. We're going to talk about that monkey, monkeys, and then the CGI monkeys.
the CG.
But
Oh
anyway,
man, I was so mad.
all
I was
right,
like
Paul.
this. I was about to walk out. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Anyway, yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys.
Later, man. Boop. All right, Kim. Any final words for the family?
Yes, thank you so much, chat. We truly appreciate you joining the conversation. We are trying to reach 500 views per video. So we need you to share the video and like the video. And also, please watch till the end of the video. This is very important. We're also trying to reach 2,500 subscribers by December 15th. We're almost there. So if you share the video and you like the video and you hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming, we will be able to reach that goal. Thank you again, chat. We can't do it without you. Please come back tomorrow afternoon because we will be back with more videos. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Kim. She's so sweet and positive. Yeah. I'm gonna have to change this date on 2500. I don't think we're gonna make it by December. I figured that out. Tomorrow we got Gladiator 2, one of Denzel Washington's final movies before he retires. Then we got Landman. We're gonna do the 3 episodes for that. Giovanni's a big fan. I gotta check it out, see what's going on. And then we say goodbye to From season 3 ends tomorrow. It already got renewed for a season 4, so we'll be back for more of those shenanigans. I'm sure Stacy and Chris are happy. I can see it on their faces already. Anyway, have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow at 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. Until then, I will say thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I see people watching us in the chat.
I enjoy the view very much. I don't know what the fuck I was watching.
Rewatch this when we're done. Rewatch this. You'll see what we're talking about. You'll be like, oh shit,
Hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
You want to go there?
Oh shit! Stacey, do your thing.
Okay.
Anyway, please like and share and comment on the video and all that kinds of stuff. As they say, we're just gonna end this broadcast and say bye.